All right, everybody, so I did it. I tried out for and I made a national karate team. So many questions. What does it look like? What is the team? How is my training gonna look? And when is this competition? So let's start with the easy stuff. Let's start off with the team. So I tried out for the United States national team for the World Kickboxing and Karate Union. This is a relatively new organization, but they have had some really good success with some international competitions. 40 plus countries, almost 3,000 competitors and everything else like that. So it's a pretty big deal. And the US arm of this has created a team and has started, taking people to this big world event that happens in different places around the world once a year. And so I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to try out. And this was a traditional tryout. Like they had a workout set up and they looked at our skills and they looked at our capability. And they were also looking for people that not just had really good skills, because obviously these guys want to win and they want us to win. They want us to be successful so that we keep coming back to these competitions. But they were also looking for people that were going to fit inside the team culture that they were trying to create. And so I felt like I had a pretty strong showing. Obviously I did, because I made the team. And so now what does that look like? Like, holy cow, like how often should I be training? Like, am I going to be training? How much does it cost to get to an international event? So let's go ahead and talk about training, because training is the easiest part. I train currently Monday through Sunday, like every single day. And I break that up between a lot of different things. I do a lot of strength training, which I recommend everybody should be doing. Like if you're a martial artist and you are not doing some sort of strength training, you're really missing out on key aspects of how you're gonna get better. Number two, a lot of kata practice. Like I have to have my routine dialed, and I'm gonna have more than one. I'm probably gonna have 4 really solid routines by the time we get to October. And a lot of that is, number one, if competition, at kata competition, because we only have so many katas that we can choose from, katas kind of go in and out of fashion. And I always really like to make my refs work hard. So I generally like to do katas that not everybody else is doing, because it forces those referees to look at me, because they're not seeing the same routine over and over and over and over and over again. And so what that does is it draws them in. So I'm gonna make sure to have 4 really solid routines that I can take and I can just be able to plug and play as I need to. My big question is gonna be sparring training. Like, holy cow, how am I gonna be able to prepare for these fighters that are fighting at a really high level when I don't really have a whole lot of sparring partners here at my studio? I've got a couple of really good teenage kids, and they're awesome, they're fun to fight. But how am I gonna be doing that? Well, I'm just gonna be running drills, footwork drills, hand drills, foot drills, like you name it. Like if there is something that I can be doing for 45 minutes to an hour in regards to moving around the ring, I am 100% gonna be doing that. So strength training, kata training, sparring drills. I'm gonna be riding my bike a lot. I'm gonna be running a lot to make sure that cardio is dialed in. And it's a really good thing for me too. I live at 7,000 feet. So I feel like when I go back down to lower elevations, it's just gonna rock. So I'm really looking forward to that. Next is just the logistics of trying to go to an international event. And so, obviously there's gonna be airfare. We were fortunate enough to get our tickets for pretty cheap. We found some for about $800 per person. My family's coming with me. My kids have never seen me compete, mostly because I've been retired for the past 20 years to raise them and get them to a place where now they're a little bit older and now I can focus on training again, which has been absolutely fantastic. So my kids have never seen me compete. This is gonna be one of the first times that they get to see me do this thing that I love in a competition setting for the first time in their lives. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, about $700 to $800 was that. International flights are still somewhere in the $1,000 range most of the time, but then there's gonna be staying. Airbnbs are pretty good. I only stay at Airbnbs. Why? Because they're so much more comfortable. When we travel for tournaments, it's really hard to stick to a diet because when you're traveling and you got a hotel room, 9 times out of 10, there's not a kitchen. And so your diet goes to crap when you need it to be dialed in for competition. And so we obviously got an Airbnb that drives the price up a little bit, you know, in that $150, $200 a night range. And we're going to be there for a whole week. Rent a car, all that other fun stuff. So, I mean, generally, and then equipment and tournament registration. So, you know, you're looking at a very easy spend of $5,000, you know, and so we're going to be doing some fundraising. A couple of things that I'm doing is that we have started an online coaching business. So if you yourself are interested in getting a world title, competing at international events, really elevating your game, well, we have a ton of programs at MrBMartialArts.com. I'd really appreciate it if you checked it out. Also, make sure that you're subscribing to the channel, because every new subscriber gets us closer and closer to monetizing this and helps us pay for karate competitions. Because for those of you that ever competed karate competitions, you know that we don't have that same level of professional athletics like, say, the Major League Baseball teams do, or football teams, or anything like that. We are almost always competing on our own dime, and tournaments that offer purses, like prize money for winners, are few and far between. And so unfortunately for us, we're doing it just for the love of the game, and it still has a pretty amateurish kind of thing like that in the case that we can't make money off a competition. So like, any support, would love to have it. Okay, and then finally, you know, make sure that you're taking some time to go ahead and watch this next video, because not just subscribing, but also watching these videos really does help us out a lot. And what I hope that you guys will also do is we're going to be running live workouts through this thing. So Saturday and Sunday, you guys are going to see exactly how I'm working out, exactly how I'm training. And again, if you guys are looking at going to some of these bigger and more prestigious tournaments, I'd love to help you out. So please make sure that you like the channel. We've got a lot of workouts coming your way. And until next time, train hard, fight fast, score first. Asai.